What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog. Got another FNM Artisan event list for you. This one we're in Azorious colors for a cycling deck. That's right, obviously cycling decks are all the rage these days. However, in the Artisan event, I think you have to keep it very simple with two colors. I know it seems like Jeskai has been pretty popular lately, but we don't have the mana base as efficient in Artisan events because you can only use obviously common and uncommon cards. So I think Azorious is actually a pretty powerful way to go. And of course, the Flourishing Fox can win games just by itself. It's a 1/1 for 1, and whenever you cycle, you get to put a +1 counter on it. And of course, it cycles itself for 1. And of course, they also have the Drannith Healer, which can be relevant against certain decks, but most of the time it's just in there to cycle. But if you do need a creature down, it's perfectly fine just to play it as a creature. But the other creature we're going to be focusing on here is the Valiant Rescuer. That's the other kind of way to win the game, as you can every time you cycle, you get to make a 1/1. So kind of either chump block while you're attacking him with your Fox, or you can just kind of go wide and just kind of get through that way. And Ominous Seas is the other good reason to run it in blue. Obviously, blue also does have some fantastic 1-mana cycling options, which are just amazing for the Fox and everything like that. And the Ominous Seas is just a fantastic way to get 8/8 creatures out, almost for free, basically. So every time you draw a card, you put a counter on this, a foreshadow counter, and once you have 8, you can remove those 8 counters and make it 8/8 blue Kraken creature token. And you don't even have to sacrifice this, you just get 8, you make an 8/8, and you just keep putting more and more counters on the enchantment here and just keep making 8/8s. But obviously, with things like the Flourishing Fox and the Valiant Rescuer and your Krakens, you're just trying to actually close out the games quickly, so 1 should be pretty much all that you need. And sometimes if you draw into this too late, then it's not going to really do much for you. But if you can get this down early, like on turn 2 or 3, then it is going to be a fantastic card. And also have, of course, the Splendor Mare, which can give your Fox lifelink, or you can just play it as a 3/3 lifelinker on its own. So those are pretty much the main creatures you're going to be relying on to win the game. We also do have some nice protection here in Fight as 1. As a 1-mana instant speed, you can give one of your creatures +1/+1 and indestructible. Actually, you can actually give 2 of your creatures. One has to be human, 1 non-human. The Fox is, of course, a Fox. The Rescuer, of course, is a human. Same thing with the Healer, is also a human. And let's also have the Kraken, of course, is a non-human. So that's something to keep in mind as well. For a little bit of interaction here, we have a couple copies of Glass Casket, and running all 4 Banishing Lights for any sort of, especially for non-creatures, enchantments and things like that. And then for our powerful 1-mana cycling cards, we do have Startling Development, which could also be used as a fantastic combat trick. For 2 mana, you can make one of your creatures a 4/4. That's base power 4/4. So you have your Fox out with even 1 or 2 counters. It'll be like 5/5 or 6/6, and you can really catch your opponent off guard that way with a 2-mana instant speed spell. Otherwise, you can just cycle it to put counters on your Fox and just keep pushing through for damage with your Fox. Same thing here with Ambush, cycles for 1, and Boon of the Wishgiver also cycles for 1. It's pretty rare you can actually be casting these for what they are, but however, the Frostveil Ambush is 5-mana instant speed. You tap 2 target creatures, and they don't untap during their next untap phase. Boon of the Wishgiver is a 6-mana sorcery that says you draw 4 cards. So occasionally you might get to a point where your opponent's been able to kill your Fox, or you're just kind of in some kind of a board stall, and you might actually need to hardcast these. But mostly they're there because they cycle for 1, and potentially you could actually hardcast them to tap down your opponent's creatures and win the game that way, or draw a bunch of cards and then actually find your creatures to keep going. And so we are a very low to the ground cycling deck. Most our main spells are 2 mana here, 1 and 2 mana with the Fox and the Ominous Seas and the Rescuer. And after that, we do have the Banishing Lights, but we do have so much cycling we can draw into additional lands. So I think 21 is the right number. So just 4 of the dual lands, the Tranquil Cove, of course, because you can gain life, 7 islands, and then 10 plains, because we are very, very white heavy with our Fox and Rescuer and things like that. And of course our removal spells as well. Alright, so that's I think the best way to run this for this event. So we're going to jump into some best of 1 here and just kind of give you a little taste for how it can do, since the algorithm, of course, matches you up against similar power level decks. So this won't be a true representation of the Artisan event, but it should give you a pretty decent idea. So right after that, we do have the Rescuer, so we can definitely play one of these and then cycle the second one. Then we have the removal to follow up. and the tap land here on turn 1, so that's perfect. And after that, pretty much anything we we find with cycling, we'll just cycle it to get value off of our creatures. Okay, Temple of Malice, that's a little scary. They're going to have some, could be like shocks or burn spells, things like that. But we'll go ahead and play this out. And if it dies, we do have a second one, and we can hold up the fight as one to protect it. And if they play some kind of a scary threat here, nope, they're on Grixis. Okay, that's pretty nasty. So we can definitely hold up the fight as one. We'll go and get the second one down because we're probably going to need to dodge some spot removal. Could have a sweeper here. Of course, the good thing about the Artisan event is all the sweepers are basically rares, and so you don't have to worry about those. Fateful End, that's not a card you see every day. But we will go ahead and give our creature Indestructible. They do still get to scry though. Another land. 21 lands, and we're curving out a little bit too well. Nothing to Banishing Light yet, but sure that's coming, unless they're just holding up removal. They're in Grixis though, because this could just be like a Nicol Bolas deck or something, which at least in the super, all the super powerful planeswalkers are not legal. Go ahead and cycle, get a little bit of value here. Doesn't really matter which one. Another Banishing Light. That's crazy. So yeah, we just need to hold up fight as one here. Unless they have a sweeper, it might just be a game. Sarkhan, that's pretty nasty. Okay, so we, yeah, they just make a dragon, we Banishing Light the dragon, and we win the game. Sweet.
I summon you.
So, yeah, even against some of these, oh, they plus instead of minus. Okay, so I guess they just misclicked, but they were dead either way. So even against the pretty potentially powerful deck there was Grixis, Sarkhan, yeah, we still just smashed them. So yeah, the Drannith Healer as a 3-powered attacker that makes 1/1s is a pretty sweet way to win the game as well. Most times it's probably going to be from the Fox. And sometimes you'll get the Ominous Seas, Ominous Seas 8/8 Kraken. So here we got the Fox into Seas, and then we can just hold up these developments to cycle or to turn our Fox into a 4/4, depending on what our opponent is up to. So yeah, this is a pretty fantastic start. Make sure we click the creature side, not the cycling side. Play Island into Seas next turn. Okay. Vampire. Don't love that. We are still going to stick with our game plan. And they're going to hit us for 1, gain 1. Is this just a mono black vampires? Is this a mutate deck? Obviously the vampire is pretty fantastic for mutating with Death Touch and Lifelink. And they have removal. Nope. Let's hit our hand. Sure. Don't really care too much about what they take here. Okay, they don't like the Ominous Seas. That's good to know. So hold it back on defense. Makes sense. Well, here the Rescuer might actually be pretty handy to kind of go wide. They're just going to hold up these Death Touch options. Of course, they know about these developments, but these are just there to cycle. If they do attack in, we'll absolutely cycle here just to get a 1/1. So they're in Orzhov, so it's just like an Orzhov life gain. Knight of Ebon Legion, okay. So they are Orzhov life gain with Pridemate. And then Knight of Ebon Legion just because it's a good card. Sure. Well, we'll go ahead and cycle. As well, we have cards like Glass Casket in the deck. Wow, these lands are not doing us any favors. 21 lands, and we are flooding out here again. Obviously, they could have Mortifies or Banishing Lights of their own. I mean, Agonizing Remorse is interesting. Aerialist. Okay. So yeah, we definitely need to find some removal here soon. Alright, we'll just cycle and just block these with our 1/1s. So they're going to get a counter on their... a couple counters on their Aerialist, but we don't care about that. We have removal now. Just have to worry about this Knight of Ebon Legion. Which I can't do much about it right now. If they want to trade with the Rescuer, that's fine. I'm happy to get this Knight off the board. And just like that, they pack it in. Alright. Kind of a questionable attack by them. I guess the Charm Strike kind of makes sense, but I think holding back the Death Touch creature definitely gave them a pretty commanding spot to kind of get set up. And so don't really have flyers in the style of deck. You can just ride the Bloodthirsty Aerialist to a victory, but of course we had the removal right on time. Alright, so yeah, I think we'll just follow the same plan of Fox into Seas and then just hold up Cycling and Protection here. Seems pretty good. I hope you guys are staying safe wherever you're at. Little chink chink chink. Wonder if they're ever going to kind of sell playmats as cosmetics. So if you can go buy in the store and just have your own playmat that only you can see, maybe, and the other person just sees the default playmat for whichever one. That'd be kind of cool. So anybody that doesn't want to buy into that can just have the default playmat, and anybody who wants to buy their own, well, will just show up for them only. Alright, get the Fox down here. Looks like our opponent disconnected or is away from the keyboard. That's too bad. We have a pretty sweet opening hand here. Showing off their spikiness with the trophy and the matching sleeves. I'm sure they're very good at net decking. I'm just going to time out. Sweet. And Gargos. Time's running out. I like this guy better than the little trophy thing. Much more playful. Alright. I'm the guest is just about had it. So we had some fantastic options here next turn with the Cycling giving it lifelink and a +1 counter. And still hoarding up mana to fight as one or just cycle. Again, putting counters on our Ominous Seas. I'll try one more since that wasn't really much of a game. Alright. It's far from ideal, but we do have a 2-drop creature. We have some nice removal. So yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can ride this to something. I think the life gain is going to be too relevant against a mono blue list. Just going to play a Fae of Wishes. Fine with Glass Casketing that. Don't want them to bounce it back to their hand or have a nice easy chump blocker. And we can cycle this anytime just to find something else. Okay, so they're in Dimir. Another one, sure. Need to find something. Fox is good. Just play the Fox and say go. That's a nice Banishing Light target. Seas. Do we cast it? Or do we just cycle it? Could be a little long if they're in Dimir colors with counterspells. And still no attacks. We are running a little light here. Okay, now they're going to wish for something. They got clear. Okay, Clear the Mind is your go-to removal spell. Sure. Yeah, we just need to get some Cycling action to start kind of sifting through our deck a little bit more. Another healer. Okay. We can cycle that next turn. And we're close to hard casting some of our more expensive spells. But really, we just want to get this Fox going and the counters on the Ominous Seas. Just playing their 1/4 down, sure. And Discovery, looking for probably another land. It's not anything to shuffle back into their library, but it's the card they chose to get. Okay, we'll definitely attack here. All attack. Just gonna block the 2/2, makes sense. Okay, making sure we didn't auto tap on white, leaving the fight as one open. Well, that's tempting. Yeah, let's do it. Get rid of that creature, so they don't have another. They don't have a blocker. Now we got a protection spell open for our Fox, and we're in a pretty good spot. Getting close to 8 counters here on Ominous Seas as well. They clear the mind just to get Discovery and Fae Wishes back. You get to draw a card as well, so they put the Clear the Mind back on top. Pretty neat little combo. Seems pretty slow though. And Anticipate. Well, if we can chain together some Cycling spells, we can probably win this turn, but we will see. And yeah, opponent packs it in. So yeah, if you're able to draw just enough removal and cycle away like a madman, you can get there, and then the fight as one give you some nice protection as well. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let me know how this deck does for you, or if there's any changes you would make. Alright, we'll see you in the next one.